What's going on, guys? It's Modern, and today I'm going to be commentating over my second round match from the very first VGC 16 Premier Challenge in Arizona. Now, for the first round, I actually played against my brother, who is using the same exact team and Pokemon as I did. So it was really nerve-wracking considering that both of us were running the dual Primal, dual Mega, and dual speed control setups. Obviously, since we had a lot of different options against each other, although we went for pretty similar setups, the only difference being that I brought a Talonflame over Groudon. Both of us lead the same exact leads with the Primal Kyogre and the Cresselia, mainly because it just checked a lot of the faster Pokemon on the team, such as I could just protect my Kyogre and go for a Trick Room if he led Salamence, or if he led Groudon, my Kyogre's Primordial Sea would take precedence just because I am a slower variant. And again, I could just go for the Trick Room and Skill Swap, just in case if they wanted to bring it in the next turn. Now, both of us just go for the same lead right here, for the reasons that I was saying, just because it has so many different options against our team setups and some of the common leads that we have. For the first turn, both of us go for the Water Spout with our Kyogres. The differences are that he actually critical hits my Cresselia, wins the Speed Tie, and goes for Skill Swap, whereas I just went for the Helping Hand Water Spout. I figured that if I can KO his Cresselia on the very first turn, then that would just help me out a lot in the late game, mainly because I could just protect Kyogre and maybe play around with the Trick Room, just in case if he did bring some of the faster Pokemon in the back. Now this next turn, I just go for the same play. I go for the Helping Hand and the Origin Pulse. He hits both of my Pokemon, managing to take out my Cresselia, and unfortunately, I actually missed this Origin Pulse onto his Cresselia. Now, he goes for the Skill Swap again, which I wasn't really surprised about, just because it is a fairly safe play against my team, given that I have dual Primals. Just because if I switch in my Groudon, like I was saying, the weather doesn't necessarily come into effect immediately, but during the next turn, the Groudon is threatened by a water attack still. Now, since I got a free switch in, I brought in Talonflame, primarily because I knew I could take out the Cresselia with an Origin Pulse at this point, and if he did set up the Trick Room, then I could just easily KO his Kyogre. And like I said, I do just go and KO the Cresselia right here with my single target Origin Pulse. And at this point, the game's pretty much locked up. I can just go for a Tailwind if my brother has the faster setup of Pokemon, and if he has a slower setup of Pokemon, then I can just switch out my Kyogre and then attack maybe the Scizor or his own Talonflame. And if he did have the Groudon, then I could probably just either switch out, or like I said, just Tailwind and maybe bring in my Salamence, just to get off a lot of damage, and also outspeed his Pokemon. Now, at this point, I pretty much have the battle locked up. I can just go for a Protect and a Tailwind just to play it safe and conserve my Kyogre. And my brother actually goes for a weird play with a Protect on his Salamence and a Stone Edge onto my Talonflame. When I talked to him after the battle, it actually made a little bit more sense. He was telling me that he knew that the Protect and the Tailwind was obvious, but in the case I went for a double attack into his Salamence and he couldn't KO my Kyogre, if he could just protect and KO my Talonflame, he would force my Salamence in if I had it. Which is actually pretty smart thinking for my brother right here. Just trying to get the lead again, but like I said, Tailwind and Protect was really, really safe for me. Now, at this point in the battle, I actually figured out something pretty unfortunate that I should have noticed before the tournament started, but my Kyogre was actually the wrong speed. Mine hit 85 speed, which is the minimum speed that Kyogre can be, whereas it was supposed to be 95 or 99. So my brother actually goes for a wrong play right here and Draco Meteors my Kyogre. He told me he was just going to screw around because he knew the game was over and I thought the game was over, but him screwing around actually meant that he lost the game right here, just because I'm able to pick up a one-hit knockout onto his Salamence, and my brother really doesn't have any way to KO both of my Pokemon at once. And that's pretty much going to be the end of the battle, guys. Sorry for getting this one out a bit late. I know I said I was going to post it after the first one. I think the day after is what I said. But I ended up having a couple of plans, and I wasn't able to get it on time. But I promise you guys, the third round will be up for you guys to view tomorrow, and obviously the fourth round will come up the day after that. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.